on this Future Weapons. Bomb busting in the 21st century using the power of water to neutralize massive terrorist bombs.
2, 1. Things are still falling right now.
In the skies above, there's a new surface-to-air missile system that can take out all kinds of aircraft, even cruise missiles. And the art of the sniper. Can this new sniper rifle take fast, precise targeting to a whole new level? I'm Richard Makowitz. I spent 10 years as a Navy SEAL, and this is Future Weapons. In this urban patrol exercise, I'm operating as the automatic weapons gunner in a fire team. We're moving through a village where insurgents are known to operate. The rest of my team is armed with M4s, ideal for urban patrol, while I'm carrying the SAW M249 light machine gun, designed to put down suppressive automatic fire. The trade-off? This weapon can attract a lot of attention.
What you've got to remember is that if you're carrying the saw, you're carrying the big stick, and everybody in the neighborhood gets to see it.
Never forget, with a big weapon, you're a big target. Now, I gotta run, get into position, find out where the shot's coming from, and put down suppressive fire.
The SAW's job is to keep the enemy pinned down. It has a firing rate of nearly 800 rounds a minute. It's still a beast of a weapon to carry. It tips the scales at a mighty 19 pounds, and that's before you add up to 35 pounds of ammo. And when it's time to enter the confines of a building, you have to rely on your buddies to go in first. In a close-quarter combat situation, a SAW gunner has some critical limitations. I've come to the Mystic Training Center in New Mexico, the largest privately operated military training site in the United States. It's the perfect place to put present and future weapons through their paces.
This is the SAW, Squad Automatic Weapon. It can put down a lot of firepower very quickly. But it fires a relatively light round, the 5.56, and it fires from the open bolt position. So your bolt is going to be open all the time, which means dirt, dust, grime, all that stuff gets inside your chamber. Not ideal. It is belt fed, which means you got to really stay on top of where you are with your ammo. That it's not getting snagged up when you're walking into buildings. It's getting snagged up on a wall. Oops, I just ran out of ammo, just like that. Things like that you have to take into consideration when using this weapon, but there is a new alternative.
New from LWRC comes the revolutionary IAR, Infantry Automatic Rifle. It combines the devastating power of the SAW with the compact size of the M4 in one weapon. The company's engineers and designers were initially given a brief by the United States Marine Corps.
Basically what they wanted, Mac, was they wanted a weapon that a rifleman can use for his everyday duties.
Darren Mellors helped turn that brief into reality.
But in addition to that, when he's taking care of his little piece of the pie in an assault or whatever, he can lay down light support fire.
The IAR is laid out like the familiar M4, with a slightly heavier barrel.
It's a multi-purpose weapon that the soldier can use for just about any duties in his fire team.
The IAR can operate in two modes. In semi-automatic, the bolt is closed, keeping out dirt and reducing weapon movement, making it more accurate. Just like the M4. In full auto, the IAR fires the first round with the bolt closed, then the rest, like the SAW, from the open bolt position. This keeps it cool and minimizes jamming.
It allows air to enter the barrel. It cools the barrel from the inside and out.
Vice President of Engineering, Jesse Gomez, gives me a quick demonstration of the IAR's bolt mechanism.
It also prevents you from having a live round in a hot chamber. You pull the trigger, bolt carrier goes forward, fires,
And
stays open.
back.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And so the big advantage you get with an open bolt is it cools off much faster.
That's correct.
To show you just how much difference an open bolt can make when you're putting down rapid fire, I'm comparing the IAR with the standard issue infantry rifle.
This is the M4. It's a great weapon. It's very accurate and very reliable. But there are some things you have to take into consideration when firing this weapon. First and foremost, it fires from a closed bolt position, which means there's usually a round in the chamber. See that? That round could cook off, and that means basically the round could go off accidentally.
Now, let's unleash the IAR in full auto.
Drop that, shift it into semi. Okay, now check this out. There.
The bolt is cool, and there's no bullet in the chamber, so there's no risk of a round cooking off.
I dare you to try that with a lot of weapons.
Another advantage of the IAR is that it's magazine-fed, not belt-fed, so your rounds don't get snagged up as you move.
Instead of having to go through all the process of flipping something up like you would with the saw and throwing another belt in there and trying to lock that down, making sure it doesn't slide out. Now, all I have to do is boom, drop the mag, put another mag right in, and if I ever ran out of ammo, I could always go over to my brother and say, hey, give me a magazine. I can throw his magazine into my weapon and boom, now I'm back to work. This weapon is designed to work.
Tom is a member of the Special Forces with first-hand experience of the need for a light machine gun in urban situations. Still, on active duty, his identity must be protected.
It's a safe assumption to make that warfare of the future is going to be fought in cities, and so why not design light machine guns that work effectively in cities?
To check out the new weapon's capability, let's run that scenario again. This time, instead of the saw, I'll be using the IAR. Now I blend in like a regular squad member, and to the enemy, I don't look like a bigger threat. But with the firepower of the IAR, you better believe I am.
Just like that, I have the same volume of fire that the saw does. I don't have to worry about any of it, and I can lay down major firepower.
Because this weapon uses standard 5.56 magazines, if I run out of ammo, I can always get another one from my teammate. And just like the M4, you can easily operate the IAR inside a confined space.
Now I enter the building just like everybody else, and take down the room, no problem.
Coming up, fighting the war on terror by harnessing the power of water. There's a global war, and everyone's a target. A backpack in a lobby, a bag on a train, the trunk of a car loaded with artillery shells. They explode without warning, with devastating consequences. I'm being escorted to a secret location in Ontario, Canada, to see the very latest weapon aimed at defeating terrorists. Its name is Aquaram.
Hey brother, how you doing? Okay.
Improvised explosive devices are the #1 threat that the law enforcement and military agencies around the world face today. Terrorists are very passionate about using these kind of weapons to cause as much chaos and mayhem as possible. What's needed is a weapon that can minimize collateral damage and maximize safety. Produced by Canada's MREL group of companies, Aquaram is a unique tactical disruptor that tears bombs apart before they have a chance to go off. And it works by harnessing the power of the most common liquid on the planet, water. It's a critical compound in the building blocks of life. It flows. It's malleable. Most importantly, it's uncompressible. It's a perfect weapon to defeat a terrorist threat. It gives life It saves life. That's perfect. Aquaram uses a high-pressure jet of water to destroy bombs before they go off. And Jeff White is going to show me how it works.
With the Aquaram line of tactical disruptors, what we're going to be looking at is firing a course-focused water jet through here to separate the components and neutralize the device.
Let's go blow it up. Okay, let's go take care of this threat. Bomb technicians are the unsung heroes of the war on terror. They're on the front line when it comes to destroying explosive devices and protecting us from the threat of devastation. For this exercise, we're using the smallest of 3 tactical disruptors, the Aquaram Micro. As Jeff approaches the bomb, he steadies his movement. If that device has a seismic sensor, even his footsteps could trigger it.
10, 9.
The amount of explosive in this bag could easily devastate an area the size of a typical subway station.
2, 1. Beautiful. Simple, nice and clean. I cannot wait to see what we get out there.
The bag bomb is totally and safely ripped apart. It may look like a big bang, but it's nothing compared to what would have happened if that bomb went off.
All clear. I repeat, all clear. Please return to ground zero.
Perfect. It's great. Everything's spread out. You've got the ammonium nitrate that's spread out across the ground so that you don't have any secondary explosions going on. The bag is no longer a threat. You can see, very clean. Here's the container over here. Everything's definitely spilled out in all kinds of different directions.
Bill Bauer is the brain behind Aquaram.
It is a gigantic shape charge, isn't it? Kind of keeps the explosive compact as much as possible. Then you've got the explosive out here and around the back, shape charging this water into a force that will cut and slice through.
It course focuses that water and directs it so that the bomb tech can actually aim this to quite precisely quite precise location that he wants to attack in the IED.
The central reservoir is filled with nothing more than H2O. It's turned into a high-speed jet that shreds through whatever's in its path because of MREL's unique liquid explosive called Fixor.
What we developed the Aquaram around is our binary explosive fixer. Quick to mix, easy to pour, and it's all about the time. You got to get it downrange and get it deployed and to defeat the IED.
To maximize the explosive force that will drive its wave of destruction into the bomb, we have to make sure there are no air pockets trapped inside the chamber.
All right, so just confirm that the caps are all tight. And there's the Aquaram Mini, ready to go.
It's a beautiful day on the range, but we've set up a very deadly situation that military guys, explosive ordnance disposal technicians, have to solve on a day-to-day basis. Inside, we have the switch, which sends an electronic pulse all the way back to a nasty, nasty surprise. And what they like to use, artillery shells. These are 105s. Now what we've done is you take out the fuse and you pack the top with C4. Then you throw a blasting cap in there. So your explosive chain basically goes from the switch through the wire to the detonator to the C4, and that activates the 105. To handle this threat, you need a special weapon. This time we're using a robot to deploy the bigger Aquaram Mini. Obviously, this is much safer for the operator and allows him to slide the device under the vehicle for maximum effect. Remember, this test is with a real IED. The positioning of the device is critical. And how these guys decide precisely where to put it, that's classified.
3, 2, 1.
Again, the IED is completely destroyed without detonating the explosives.
Things are still falling right now.
No more wire cutting, no more putting your men at risk, no more giving the terrorists the satisfaction of success.
The IEDs did not go off. That blast primarily was the water coming up, pushing all that stuff out. Now what they're gonna do is they're looking around just for safety to make sure there's no solid pieces, no real danger. But you can see the 105 shells right there. So essentially that's all it did. The water came up, pushed all those 105 shells out and separated them so that they did not detonate. And the beautiful thing is, when you think about this, is all the 105 shells. 1, 2, 3, over there, 4. And then, last but not least, 5, 6, 7, right there. I mean, you gotta remember, these artillery rounds, they're designed for suppressing entire areas. Very deadly, very dangerous.
The action replay reveals the full force of the water as it tears through the trunk of the car. The fixer in the Aquaram Mini explodes, propelling the jet of water upwards. The directional force of the explosive is so great, the water soars 50 feet into the air, tearing the mechanism that controls the bomb apart and lifting the vehicle completely off the ground. If you look carefully, you can actually see one of the shells spinning away from the car. But how does Aquaram cope with a terrorist IED that could lay waste to an entire city block? Find out next.
It would be a catastrophic event.
Aquaram uses water to tear bombs apart before they do serious damage. Specifically, it prevents the bomb's explosives from detonating, keeping the debris field and collateral damage to a minimum. This preserves evidence that could prove vital in hunting down the bomb builder. Anthony Clabo is a bomb squad commander with the Erie County Sheriff's Department.
We have post-blast investigators that will come out, start sifting through the thousands and thousands of little bits and pieces, every little piece of glass, every little tiny speck of dirt, every nut and bolt, everything that we can find. I put that all together. There's an awful lot of evidence that's there that we can collect up and then hopefully go after the person that built it.
Time for Aquaram's ultimate test.
IEDs come in all shapes and sizes, but imagine the nightmare scenario of a container like this, packed full of explosives, then trucked to a location or shipped to a port. For the bomb tech that has to handle this threat, they have to be incredibly careful and absolutely precise.
On this type of material, you're going to be the first to see. We've never fired multiple containers.
Okay, so this is an exclusive.
It is. It's the first time that we will have fired dual Aquaram Maxes.
Terrorists could use this huge shipping container to create a horrendous explosion with devastating consequences. But not if Aquaram gets there first.
How much trouble are we in? All right, well, you know what? We're in a lot of trouble.
We are.
If this went off, just this right here, if this alone went off, what kind of damage are we talking about?
Well, I'll just simply state that it would be a catastrophic event.
So catastrophic, it has the potential to wipe out an entire city block, killing thousands of people.
So, let's get rid of the threat.
That's it. Threat will be removed.
This massive bomb is equivalent to over 3/4 of a ton of TNT, which means we have to withdraw to a safe distance just in case.
Whenever you're ready, Mac.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is awesome. Range is clear?
Yes.
Range is clear. Come on through. All right, look at that. Look how swollen that thing looks right there. You can definitely see the ammonium nitrate being spread out right there in the back. All the evidence is left intact, right?
It's in there.
That's great. But you never had a secondary explosion with any of the ammonium nitrate, so that's exactly what you're looking for. But look at that, that's fantastic. A gigantic hole, if I need to get inside there, no problem. Look at this, this is great. You got two of those big Aquaram Maxes going off, and this is it, you got water. Essentially all that came out of here was water. I mean, compared to what would have happened if those things would have gone off, all of this stuff would have been shredded. All of this stuff would have been sent flying in all kinds of different directions.
The two Aquaram Max tactical disruptors are fired. The water rips through the container and out the other side. The bomb mechanism is destroyed so quickly, the explosives don't have time to detonate. It's fast, it's clean, and the evidence is preserved with minimal collateral damage, so you can see why it will save lives.
This weapon system is designed to defeat a terrorist at one of his worst weapons that he's created.
Absolutely. And with tools like these, we're putting them into the hands of bomb technicians and EOD specialists in the military, and hopefully we can take a bite out of this increasing terrorism.
Coming up, the Army is buying thousands of them, so just how good is this new sniper rifle? The last thing the enemy wants to face on the battlefield is a highly trained sniper with the latest state-of-the-art weapon. So I'm on my way to Titusville, Florida, to take a look at the most recent sniper rifle to be adopted by the U.S. Army. Knights Armament has been developing and manufacturing weapons for over 25 years. Their latest contract: supply the U.S. Army with more than 3,000 sniper rifles of the future. Snipers are a special breed of soldier. We demand a special kind of weapon. This is the M110. It will support U.S. military operations for many years to come. And best of all, it's semi-automatic.
It reaches out and touches the enemy at 800 meters and gives the enemy a bad day.
Brigadier General Mark Brown fully supports the U.S. Army's decision to make the M110 operational.
It's a 10-round or a 20-round magazine. Doesn't require the sniper to pull off the target. He can engage in a target-rich environment or a fleeting target environment in a much faster way.
So snipers can engage the target and, more importantly, stay on target.
Semi-automatic fire capability, rapid reload capability. The rail system allows you to put on aiming devices, lasers, clip-on night sights. You don't have to remove your day optic sight. It always stays on, and you just simply use thermal or night vision, whatever you need, to snap on it.
This is the tried and trusted M24, the main sniper rifle currently in service with the U.S. Army. Also known as the Remington 700, it's a bolt-action weapon that fires the 7.62 millimeter round. There are many great rifles that have seen service in the U.S. military. And nearly all of them are here at Knights Armament.
This would be about 1942, 1941. So it was World War II, our main battle sniper rifle.
Reed Knight is the mastermind behind the M110. He draws on his historical collection of firearms to learn lessons for his modern designs.
This was a battle rifle, which is an 03. So it was World War II, our main battle sniper rifle for the U.S.
What kind of range are we talking about?
Probably 1,100, 1,200 meters. Wow. So it had good range.
That's incredible. But what about the optics, though?
Well, the optics were hurting. I mean, you know, you certainly could not tell if it was friend or foe at those kind of ranges. This is the M21, but this was of the Vietnam era in the 70s. That was a good gun.
Absolutely, and it was effective. It was accurate.
Semi-automatic. That, you know, knew they needed it and everything else. But none of these semi-automatics were as good as the bolt-action guns. The bolt-action guns always had more accuracy, always had more reliability. So we haven't really changed the technology of the weapon. What we have changed in our battles is our target acquisition, our fire controls.
I'm about to find out how well the U.S. Army's new sniper rifle performs. But first, let's see what the M24, the most common bolt-action sniper rifle in the field, is capable of. I've teamed up with former U.S. Army sniper Chuck Olson.
Send them when you're ready.
You ready?
Ready. Send them.
I'm going to fire 5 rounds at the targets as quickly as I can.
Target. 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 Hold 3 o'clock, 1 inch. Target.
Center miss.
Yep. Good to go. Good shoot.
I hit all 5 targets in just over 10 seconds.
Not too bad on the time, but the disadvantage is it is 1 round at a time. I have to use my muscles to adjust that, which changes my firing position just a little bit every time. So I've got to be really quick, and you've got to train to get your eye back on that target very quickly.
Next, I take the test again to see if the M110 can do it any quicker. The bolt-action M24, though incredibly accurate, has significant limitations in terms of its rate of fire. The U.S. Army wanted something faster, but just as lethal.
The Army came out for a requirement for a rifle that they wanted that would be a semi-automatic, as accurate as possible, had to weigh under 15 pounds, had to have an intricate silencer to it, it had to have an adjustable buttstock, it had to have ambidextrous controls on it, and had to have a bipod. It does a very good job, and we're excited about doing it.
Time to put the M110 to the test. I'll fire 5 rounds at 5 targets. Distance to the target is 220 yards.
Shooter ready?
Right.
Send it. Target. Target. Center, stay there, target.
Just like that.
That's nice. Nice group.
5 targets in 5 seconds. Half the time it took the bolt action M24.
And that could be all the difference in the world for you guys to get out of there, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
The attachment of a suppressor brings some big advantages. It reduces muzzle flash, which makes me less visible to the enemy. Essential for a sniper. The suppressor's main function, though, is to dampen the sound of the shot. That's why I don't need to wear ear protection here. On a sniper mission in hostile territory, that reduction in sound could save more than just my hearing. Plus, I have a rapid reload for my magazine, so I've got plenty of rounds if I need to get my guys out of trouble. But how does the M110 perform when the battlefield is covered in smoke?
They designed their own long-range thermal optical sight. It is really simple. You just click it into place, lock it there. So my scope and all my sights stay exactly the same. Now I have the capability to see day or night out to 800 meters, maybe even beyond with this. I just hold the power button for a few seconds, boom. If I need to get even closer to make sure I'm getting the right target, it gives me double magnification.
While patrolling in an urban environment, my reconnaissance can take me in and out of buildings, from light to pitch black in the blink of an eye. With the night sight clipped onto the gun, I have the flexibility to engage the enemy without having to change my optics. A great operational advantage. The M110 has the potential to take sniping to a whole new level. So how has it performed in the field?
We fielded it actually in Afghanistan with the 10th Mountain Division, and it came back to rave reviews. And so we're still completing the testing and wrapping up the testing, and we should expect to have it start fielding to the first unit equipped in 2009.
I was definitely impressed. When you know how it's manufactured and the tolerances they're taking into consideration for a semi-automatic weapon, it's really incredible.
Right.
I've just seen how the sniper has a new weapon that can engage more targets with speed and accuracy. Now, thousands of miles away, ground-to-air missile defense operators want to do the exact same thing. I've come to Sweden, where the Army has granted me access to a restricted firing range on the edge of the Baltic for a first look at their very latest missile system. This is the RBS-70, a portable missile system developed by Saab Bofors Dynamics. The basic system has been around for a number of years, but it's recently been upgraded to transform it into a true future weapon. Now it's effective against a much bigger range of ground and airborne targets, day or night. Today's fighter aircraft are multi-million-dollar supersonic technological wonders. As they become smarter, so too must the countermeasures. That's why the RBS-70 has to be able to take out anything from a tank to another missile.
You can use it in the middle of a city, deploy on rooftops. You can use it in the field.
The key to this new missile system is the longer range, higher altitude Bolide missile. Its extra striking range allows it to take out more airborne threats, even cruise missiles. Aki Soderlund has been working with Swedish air defense systems for more than 30 years.
Over the years, things have changed a lot. From the original 5 kilometers, today we have 8 kilometer range with the Bolide.
And you also raise the ceiling too, that you
Yes.
can go after targets up to 15,000 feet in the air.
The most important thing is the capability of Bolide also to engage the very small targets, such as cruise missiles, UAVs.
It's adapted itself for the changing environment that it's actually going to have to confront.
Yes.
The portable system uses sophisticated laser tracking. First, the operator trains the beam onto the target. Once the missile is fired, it tracks this beam all the way to the target. Because it's a one-way laser-based communication, it's impossible to jam. Not only does the Bolide missile have a longer range, but its proximity fuse can detonate in 3 different modes, effective against a wide range of targets. Coming up, a live test of the RBS-70 missile system. Today, I'm a guest of the Swedish Army, and we're taking a closer look at their latest ground-based missile system, the RBS-70. A 3-man team is all that's needed to transport and set up the system. Because the RBS-70 is so light, these 3-man units can easily slip behind enemy defenses. But on their own, they are only effective against targets within visual range. If your target is coming in fast, you need a little help.
How do you stack the advantages in your favor? You add this beast right here. It's a radar system. Now you can tell several RBS-70s exactly what's happening in that area and pick a target and take it out.
The Giraffe radar system can detect a target up to 25 miles away, long before it's within visual range. An identification friend or foe, or IFF, system automatically interrogates the target. Flashing lights indicate if it's friendly. If not, the launcher operator fires and directs the missile toward the target. Several Giraffes can combine to cover many square miles and give the guys in the field a clear picture of all aerial threats. But it doesn't stop there. In fully automatic mode, once it's identified the threat, it can work out which unit is in the best position to engage the target. Today, the RBS-70 is taking part in a live fire training exercise for the Swedish soldiers who will operate it and must deliver that capability on the battlefield. For these men and women, this test is not just about graduation. Some of them will soon be serving in Afghanistan with the United Nations. After 1,500 test firings in the simulator, it's time for their very first live firing at a real airborne target. This is also my first chance to see it in action.
This is it. This is the real bad boy. It feels really comfortable to be able to use. You use the front sight here, kind of see where it's at, lock that front sight into the place, see it, and then you would come right to the eye relief from there. So once you're here, my eye goes from here, seeing it generally in that place, and I come to this, and that kind of represents the circle I see inside.
Each launch tube contains a live missile ready for firing.
Okay, and now I come over here, and this is my safety release, right?
Yeah, you have the safety catch.
This powers up the system?
Yeah.
Now over here, this is how I stay on target with the laser.
That's actually the control joystick for the gyro stabilized mirror, and that helps you track the target.
And essentially, that's how I'm guiding in the laser and the missile into the target.
Yeah, exactly. Wherever you have the crosshairs, the missile will go, and if you are looking at the aircraft with the crosshairs in between, you will hit the target. Absolutely.
Today's target is a simulated enemy missile, a 9-meter-long tube towed 1.5 miles behind a plane. Each soldier has only one chance to get this right. If this was a real cruise missile and they missed it, the warhead would hit its target.
10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, fire. Engage.
The missile tracks the laser target line. The gunner just keeps his crosshairs on the target for the beam-riding missile to automatically zero in on that target all the way to impact.
You did a brilliant job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, how'd it feel?
At least it went down.
Now, it definitely went down. You sunk it right out of the sky.
Yeah.
You blew it up. It's a really smart system, right?
It is. It's very simple, easy to handle, and
When you think about what you have to do to be able to line that side up, kind of just take me through the process.
well, our radar will give me tones in my ear, a dark and a light tone, so I know what way to move my sight. The command inside the vehicle gives me permission to fire when the target is at range.
I think you did a fantastic job. Congratulations,
sir.
man. You were brilliant. Very impressive system. Very accurate. Pretty much the last thing an aircraft wants to see.